All right, what's up, Pokey family? It's Almighty T again. What's up, girlfriend? Ooh. Guys, I'm actually here for another trade-in video, right? And this is the dark side of trade-ins, and I want to tell a little story, right? So the first story starts with these cards, right? And I don't know if you can tell just by looking at them, but like here's some. Look at these Charizards. Oh my goodness! Look at all these awesome cards, right? Dragonite. Oh, another Charizard. Like it's just endless, right? Like so much value, right? Okay, well these were in a binder that I purchased, right, from no less than my own brother-in-law. Dun 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 dun. Well, let me preface with it. These are all fake cards, right? There's only like one in here that is even like close to looking real. Well, but it's not. Or a few of them look closer to real, but it's weird because they're either like really big, like they're bigger than normal cards, and they like look right, or they're like the same size as normal cards, but they look wrong. I don't know if that makes sense, but so yeah. So I was going through, and actually not all of these are from my brother-in-law's trade-in, right? But my brother-in-law, my wife is 14 years older than him. My wife's the oldest, he's the youngest, and it's like two different dads, so it's not like this like weird thing where like my in-laws are just like getting it on from young age to old age, you know what I'm saying? But he had like a full binder. I don't know how many pages, but like full binder front to back, mostly just like full arts, hollows, right, and older stuff. A bunch of Charizards, like 6 or 7 Charizards in there, right? And I just told him like, listen, buddy. He was wanting some money, and I was just kind of starting the store, and I was like, dude, I'll throw you 300 bones, right? And I just skimmed over the cards, like I just looked at the front, like he wasn't like one of those kids that played with them. I mean, because he's already kind of older when he got the cards. But here's the thing: I didn't ask him where he got the cards, right? And this is very important because if you ask them, hey, where'd you get these cards, right? If they say, my mom bought them in a special pack off eBay, right? Well, that's your first no-no, right? So what happened is his mom had bought him the binder, right? And don't get me wrong, there was real cards in there that had some value. So I don't want to like completely say that like don't buy binders or collections off eBay. I'm not saying that, but like she bought a binder off of eBay 5 years ago, right? During the height of XY Evolutions, and it just has a chunky ton of fake cards in there, right? And I almost didn't catch him, so I threw him 300 bones, right? And he was like over the moon. He was like, "This is an investment, homie." And I'm like, "Yep." Anytime your parents give you money, you're usually going to get more money out of it for you than they did, right? But I mean, she paid like $50 for the binder. So, I mean, even back then it was probably a real big scam with the fake cards. But he didn't care. So it was a good investment for my mother-in-law. So I threw him those 300 bones, right? And he was staying at my house. And then I was like, you know what? Like, just tonight, like before I even take him to the store, I'm going to go through them. And so I started going through them, and I was like, hold up a darn second. These are fake as fudge, right? And so I told him, like, listen, buddy, like, I know if you had like left and went away, like, if I didn't know you, I would just been out of luck. But like, the only reason I threw you 300 bones was because I wanted to help you out, right? I want this to be cool again. I want us to have that moment of like, look what we're doing. I'm buying this whatever binder from you, whatever. So I ended up going through and picking out all the fake ones, and he just wanted me to keep them because he's like, well, if they're fake, I don't want them, right? And I ended up paying like 125, I think, which was still like for him, $125 is like $1 million, sixth graders, like so well, not all sixth graders, but you know how kids are with money. They're like, that's 2 video games, like that's amazing, And I made money off of his collection. I gave him, like I said, 125. I think I end up netting just around, not netting, sorry. I end up grossing about 200 off of all the cards I got from him. So, a little like $75 pickup. But, he wasn't going to sell it. His parents are the type that like anything that I don't understand is stupid. I don't like video games. I don't like, I'm giving like a Southern accent, but Southern people are even that way. But I don't like video games, and like I don't like card games, and like if you're not outside chopping wood for fun, like that's boring. Like I like to be on my phone on Facebook, and my husband likes to just be outside and not spend time with me. Like like that's the type of people they are. And I really hope they don't watch this video because they'll be like, we hate you. But I mean it with love. Oh, stop, hi, stop. Okay. But the next story is, right, is I had a kid come in and he had a lot of cards, right? And he was just like, straight up, I got these all from trading. My parents think Pokemon is stupid and they won't let me spend money on it. And I was like, okay, red flag, but let me look through them, right? So all of his cards were real, but what I did, right, and this is what I usually do for most people, I do a gut feeling offer. And I know this sounds stupid, right? But it's actually worked out for me. Like, so the offer I give them is usually, like, what it ends up being, believe it or not, I just give a gut feeling like, hey, I can make this much off of it. I'm going to offer you this much, right? And they always do this thing where they're like, you're taking advantage of me. You gave me this offer. And so he was like, no, I just think it's worth more than that, right? And like the cards were just honestly like there were so many garbage cards, right? Or like the cards that were worth something were damaged and stuff like that, right? And so I went through one by one every single card. It was probably, well, I mean, it was kind of like one of those things like I didn't go one by one on these cards. Well, I did. I think I went through one by one, like 1,000 cards. It took like 2 hours. His little brother was in here probably like 5 and like kept on asking me in my store. I was like, is this free? Is this free? I'm like, no, nothing in stores are free. Like I could give you this pamphlet. It's free, but like nothing. Like he's like, is this free? Is this free? And it's just like funny because I'm like, do people just not take their kids to the stores or what? Because like he was just like dead set of like, oh, well, this has to be free, isn't it? Like, is something in here free? Like, I'm just like, no, nothing's free. Like, I'm sorry. Like, here's something cheap. Like, you know what I'm saying? But no, so I gave him an offer, and I think it was like, hey, I'll buy your whole collection, but I want the binders because I don't have the binder anymore. I sold it, but it was a cool little Pokemon binder. It was really nice. I mean, it's something his mom probably he said he didn't get it from his mom, so I don't know if his friend gave it to him. But whoever bought it, probably at the time they spent $25, $30 on it, right? And even at this time, like binders were skyrocketing because it was like the first of the Pokemon craze, right? So binders were up there, like you couldn't get a cheap binder anymore. And so I offered him like $30, I think, in-store credit, like 20 cash. And he was like, no, like that, you're just taking advantage, like you're trying to take advantage of me. Like he didn't say that, right? He's like a 12-year-old boy, right? But they're kind of like their family, like I don't know, like I know his dad, I don't know his mom, and like they're just kind of like hardworking people. Like they're not necessarily bad people. They're just the type like they just probably don't believe in anything that isn't like anything like out there. They just probably believe in like you work, you get money, like you don't spend it, right? And that's kind of the people they are, right? And so he was just kind of like, no, I think it's worth more than that. Like I just have so many like full arts and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, but they're all lightly played. They're all whatever. And so I went through and I showed him like every price, right? And I went, here it is, near mint, but it's lightly played, moderately played. We went through every single card, right? And by the end of it, I was like, dude, I can give you $15 in cash, right? And so I know that's only $5, guys, right? But it's like, I was giving him $20 cash before, right? And then when we went through, it was $15. Then he's like, oh, well, you explained the prices to me, so I'll take $15. Well, you know what? Like I sold a few of his cards he had, lightly played. I think I made like 20 overall on the cards. A kid came in, won a binder, and was like, I'm not going to spend very much money. I was like, listen, I'll give you a deal. He was like, he was going to buy a pack, and something had like $10. And I was like, listen, I'll sell this to you for $8. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I made like, not a whole lot of, you don't make a whole lot of money on anything, right? You're going to have to spend a lot of money to make a lot of money, or you're really going to have to hose someone. But, I made, like, let's say overall I just make $30. So I made $15. I doubled the money I spent, right? Like, I gave this kid $15. I got the $15 back plus $15, right? And that's, like, if you were a day trader, that's, like, the best thing you could ever do. If you put a certain amount of money in and you double it, like you're a genius, right? And so that's like, in a way, you have to take those wins. But like a lot of people are like, well, all that work for $15, like no way. And it's like, yeah, that's not going to pay my rent, but like it feels good and it's fun. Like I got to interact with like someone, and I don't want to say I teach them a lesson, but kind of teach them a lesson that like not everyone out there, like the problem is like nowadays we really teach like this internet culture of like, look at all this bad stuff, look at all this bad stuff, look at all this bad stuff. And really, like, people like almost need to teach their kids, like, listen, yes, be vigilant, be on your guard, but don't just assume everyone's an asshole out trying to get you. Like that is the easiest way to make a dumbass, right? And excuse my language, I know I try not to cuss in these too much, but like, I feel like that's the biggest problem. Everyone acts like kids these days. The problem is like technology or stuff, and really, it's like I feel like the problem is parents. Like a lot of parents, they just like have this attitude towards their kid of like, don't trust anything, don't believe anything, don't ever like. And I'm not saying like, yes, like you should teach like, hey, not everything you hear on the internet is real, right? You should teach your kids that. I have kids. I am teaching my 4-year-old that, right? Like she believes things she sees on the internet. I have to explain to her like that isn't real. Like that girl's not your friend. Like that the stuff they did with those toys isn't real. Like you can't, you know what I'm saying? Like I have to teach her that. But it's like at the same time, I don't go like everything you see on YouTube is stupid and fake. You know what I'm saying? Everything you see, like everything you hear, everything anyone tells you, they're trying to screw you over. They're trying to get the best of you. They're trying to walk over you, right? So what you need to do is you need to screw them over, or you need to walk over them first. And I see this everywhere. Like this isn't like, oh, your town sucks, all the little kids here, or whatever. Like some kids walk in, they're naive as heck. Some kids walk in and they're just straight up. They're not assholes like themselves, right? But they're like their personality is. And so it's just like one of those things that, sorry, it's like 12 o'clock at night at my store and someone just like walked by and like looked at me creepily. They're walking their dogs. So it's not a big deal, but it gave me a little heart rush. But no, like it's not something like, oh, it's my town. It's whatever. It's like everywhere I go, like meet a kid, tell them something. And the first thing they'll be like, I just don't believe you. And it could be like, yeah, man. So like if you do this, right? Like if you add 2 plus 2, right? It's 4. But 2 times 2 is also 4. And they'd be like, no, you're fucking, like, you're trying to screw me. Like, you're trying to screw me. No way 2 times 2 is 4. And then they're like, Mom, like, I'm just saying like that. And that's my problem with kids. It's like, like, I don't know. Like, I don't want to like brag about my upbringing because, no one's perfect, right? My upbringing, I'm sure, had flaws. I mean, look at me. I'm overweight. I got that from not learning constraint when I was a kid because I could eat all the snacks and stuff I want. So there's a flaw, right? I'm pointing it out. Like I had flaws. But like, I feel like that's the one thing my dad did that like helped me out was like, he let me go to the flea market and make a fool out of myself. He let me get taken advantage of. I mean, not like, that sounded awful. Not like in a sense, but like, he wouldn't go like, oh no, Jimmy, you don't need to trade any of your cards. Like, my name's not Jimmy. I don't know why I use that, but Timmy. Timmy's a better name because Rudy from Alpha Investment uses it. But like he never went like, Timmy, you cannot trade your cards, and anyone trying to trade your cards is trying to screw you over. No, he let me learn. And then when that person screwed me over, he'd be like, listen, what do you want me to do? Like, you know what? Like, you got screwed. Don't let it happen again. Don't trade with that person. Don't, whatever, And so I learned it from my uncle too. Not the good things, the bad things. But, so it was like kind of the yin and yang. My dad was the positive, like non-screw you over type of person. And my uncle was the type like you didn't make a deal with because he was going to screw you over. So, I just want you to know that like when you walk into a card store, right? Like not everyone that owns a card store or anything kind of thing is trying to screw you over. They have to make money. And that's why I explained to another kid, like, and he got it. Like, this is the difference, right? It's like, he got it. So I really appreciate it. Like I had explained to him, like, yes, this card might be worth $10, but I have to make a profit and I take the risk. So if I give you cash today, right, I take the risk. So I usually give you about a 60% offer at in-store value, right? You can buy some more packs, you can buy cards, I got other stuff, right? But I'm going to give you like a 50-40% in cash, right? Because I'm giving you the money that's out of my pocket. I can't pay rent with it. I can't pay my bills with it. I'm giving that money today. And then I have to go sell that card. And let's say the post office just decides to go, I'm out. I'm out of it. Like, I'm done. Like, I lose that money. I gave you the money already, and I lose the money. And so that's why, and guys, that card was already heavily damaged. So, if that triggers you, I'll show you this one. See, like, look how heavily damaged it is. It's a common, like that's what the post office can do this, right? I actually just shipped some packs, and two people that got them were like, yep, they're open. And like, I'm not selling resealed packs. Like, I'm selling packs I pulled out. I mean, that's my problem. I should have never pulled them out, but it's hard. Like, the shipping box, Pokemon box is a whole other story. But like, I pulled them out of the box myself. They're not resealed, right? And so, that's just the life story, guys. I always wish, like, I always have a good video, and at the end I ramble, but no one makes it here anyways. Like, on a 15-minute video, no one's making it here. So, all right, guys, deuces on this one. Bye.